Listen to me carefully. That person who vanished from your life without explanation, who left you questioning everything you said and did, they didn't reject you. They controlled you, and right now, you're still letting them. The silence wasn't about you not being enough. It was about them being exactly what they are. Someone who uses your need for closure as their final act of power over you. If this feels like I'm reading your mind, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what hurts most about being left without answers. I read every single comment, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Here's what really happened when the narcissist disappeared from your life. They didn't vanish because you were too much or not enough. They disappeared because that's what people do when they realize they can't fake being human anymore. When the mask gets too heavy. When pretending to care becomes exhausting. They don't have the courage for an honest conversation, so they choose the coward's exit. And you? You've been trying to solve a puzzle that was never meant to be solved. You've been looking for logic in the actions of someone who operates purely on control and convenience. You've been searching for love in someone who was only capable of performing it. John Bowlby's attachment theory shows us something crucial about what happens when the narcissist disappears without explanation. When we don't get proper closure, our nervous system stays activated, searching for resolution. That's not weakness. That's biology. Your brain is literally wired to seek understanding when bonds are severed without explanation. The narcissist knows this. They count on it. They weaponize it. They count on you replaying every conversation, analyzing every text, wondering what you did wrong. Because while you're trapped in that mental prison, you're still giving them your energy. You're still under their control. Even in their absence, they're controlling you. But here's the truth that will set you free. Their silence is the most honest thing they ever gave you. It's their confession written in Disappearance. It says everything you need to know about who they really are. It says, I am not capable of the emotional maturity required for real relationship. I am not brave enough for difficult conversations. I would rather leave you in pain than face my own emptiness. I would rather control you through confusion than lose control through honesty. That silence you're trying to decode, it's not mysterious, it's pathetic. It's not deep, it's shallow. It's not about you being unworthy. It's about them being incapable. The narcissist didn't reject you because they found someone better. They disappeared because they found someone easier to control, someone who hasn't figured out their patterns yet, someone who will accept breadcrumbs without questioning why there's no real meal. You keep wondering what you could have done differently. Here's what you could have done. Absolutely nothing. Because you were never dealing with someone who was emotionally available in the first place. You were dealing with someone who was borrowing emotions they don't actually possess. Stop trying to understand someone who doesn't understand themselves. Stop trying to reach someone who was never really there. Stop trying to love someone back to life when they chose emotional death. The closure you're seeking won't come from them. It never could. Real closure comes from accepting that some people are just not equipped for the kind of love you're capable of giving and receiving. Real closure comes from understanding that their disappearance revealed their character, not your worth. When the narcissist controls you by disappearing, they're using your attachment system against you. Bowlby understood that humans are wired for connection. We seek proximity to those we're attached to. When that connection is severed abruptly, without explanation, our entire system goes into protest mode. You text, you call, you analyze, you wait, you hope. This isn't weakness. This is your nervous system doing exactly what it's designed to do when faced with unexplained abandonment. But here's what the narcissist doesn't want you to know. Your attachment system can learn, it can adapt, it can recognize patterns. And once it does, their disappearing act loses its power over you. The person who disappeared was offering you pseudo-love, love that comes and goes based on their mood, their needs, their convenience. Love that's conditional on your compliance. Love that vanishes the moment you need something real from them. When you chase after that kind of love, you're not chasing love at all. You're chasing the illusion of love. You're chasing the performance of love. You're chasing someone who was never really there to begin with. Their disappearance wasn't the end of your story. It was the beginning of your freedom from someone who could never love you the way you deserve to be loved. It was the universe removing someone who was blocking your path to real love. Every day you spend wondering about the narcissist is a day you're not present for the love that's actually meant for you. Every hour you spend analyzing their silence is an hour you're not listening to your own voice telling you what you really need. You want to know what they're thinking right now. They're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about their next source of validation. They're thinking about how to avoid feeling anything real. They're thinking about control, manipulation, and power. But you're thinking about love, about connection, about understanding. You're thinking with a heart that's still open despite being hurt. You're thinking with emotional intelligence they could never possess. That's not your weakness. That's your superpower. The narcissist controlled you by disappearing because they knew your heart. They knew you would search for answers. They knew you would blame yourself. They knew you would stay attached even in their absence. But what they didn't count on was this: your capacity to learn, your ability to see through their tactics, your strength to choose yourself over their control games. The right person won't leave you guessing. The right person won't make you feel like you're too much or not enough. The right person won't disappear when things get real. The right person won't control you through absence. Stop waiting for someone who was never really there to validate the love you gave. That love was real. That care was genuine. That effort was worthy. But it was wasted on someone who was incapable of receiving it. And you? You are worthy of someone who stays. You are worthy of someone who communicates. You are worthy of someone who chooses you, not just in the good moments, but especially in the difficult ones. You are worthy of someone who doesn't use silence as a weapon. Their silence doesn't define you. Your response to it does. Will you keep giving your power to someone who never deserved it? Or will you take back control of your own life? The narcissist thought they could control you by disappearing, but what they actually did was free you. They removed themselves from your life so you could make room for something real. Here's what happens when you finally understand this truth. The spell breaks. The hold they had over you through their disappearance starts to weaken. You stop checking their social media obsessively. You stop creating stories about where they went and why. You stop torturing yourself with what-ifs. The narcissist's disappearing act only works when you don't understand what it really is. Once you see it for the manipulation tactic it is, it loses its power. Once you realize they're not mysterious, they're predictable, you stop being fascinated by their absence. Think about this. How many people have they done this to before you? How many people will they do this to after you? Their disappearing act isn't special. It's not about your unique flaws or failures. It's their standard operating procedure when someone gets too close to seeing who they really are. The reason the narcissist controlled you by disappearing is because they knew you would make it about yourself. They knew you would internalize their absence as your inadequacy. They counted on you believing that if you were just better, smarter, more attractive, more perfect, they would have stayed. But here's the truth that shatters that lie. They would have disappeared from anyone who got close enough to see behind their mask. Your worth, your beauty, your intelligence, your love, none of that could have saved a relationship with someone who was never really there to begin with. Choose yourself. Choose healing. Choose to stop giving your energy to someone who weaponized your love against you. Choose to see their disappearance for what it really is, a gift, a revelation, a redirection toward the love you actually deserve. The love you've been seeking from them. Give it to yourself first. The understanding you've been craving. Start with understanding that you deserve better than someone who controls through silence. You were never rejected. You were rescued. You were never abandoned. You were freed. The narcissist didn't reject you. They revealed themselves, and that revelation is your liberation.